have several things to say. I am just as excited as you are to watch the continuation of this project because I haven't painted this painting before. I had a small sketch, which has given me some help, but definitely changing some of the foam patterns today. I want to show you my palette today. I'll hold it up in front of my face. You can see that all right, can't you? Notice the palette is official artist palettes. It's 9 by, or I guess it's 12 by 16. I use a larger palette, but often I'll use one of these, and then at the end of the day, I'll push the paint all around and see what I can make out of it. So I want to show you one that I did. Where are you? Well, I guess I don't have it, but this one sure tops it if it were there. This being Good Friday, look at this. Can you see that all right, Lori? You're not talking.
Back it up just a little bit, Buck. Yeah, yeah. And tip it forward, just tilt it forward. There you go. There you go.
This is Jesus before Herod. And the thing about it is that this is Good Friday, and there's many different religions, and we respect people and realize that we're all sons and daughters of that God in heaven, and that is so great. Okay, now what I want to do is I have had a dry seascape, and I put some magic clear over the whole thing because I'm going to do a little glazing. But I want to show you something before I do that. But let me just say this, kind of in jest, where I used to be called a spiritual seascape artist, and it wasn't a compliment. People would say, anybody can walk on his water because it looks so hard. They didn't say that, but I thought it was a good term. So today we'll have one that's not a spiritual seascape, but it'll be great in another way. So what I want to show you first, or second, let me put this on the easel and then I'll turn the camera. You can see that the bottom of it is very complete. And we're let's see if I can move my hand down. That might help. Okay, this is almost where we are today. We've put on, a semblance of where the foam, the wave is, made a nice water feeling, rocks, and the sky. Let me show you something I think you'll find very interesting. I'm going to take, I had a plastic that I put over the top of this, and voila, that's there went a nice pellet. And look at that. See, that's almost matching the down below one, isn't it? So you kind of get an idea what was added. And I think if I, let's see, are you still safe? Yeah, you're still safe. If I have a little paper, let me get a piece of paper. Every artist should have a piece of paper. If I put this under here, you can see, not real well, but you can just see the little indication of what I added, before and after. Anyway, I love having it, and we're going to go ahead with the painting and put on some good stuff. So the way I'll start this, if I can find my palette after it dropped on the floor, what'd you do? You lost most of yourself down there? Well, we'll just pick up a little blue. Good. That'll please my wife if I do that before I step in it. And I'm going to do a glaze. And this, what I should say, I'm going to do two, let's see, do I need to move this at all? That should work, huh, Lori?
Yep, that'll work.
Okay, so I'm going to put two glazes on. I'm going to put a glaze in the sky, and then I'm going to put a glaze in the water. And I think what I'll do them at the same time, meaning I'll put this glaze on, clean the brush, and then put that glaze on, rather than put that glaze on, work into it, and then put this glaze on. The glazes are going to be different. This, that's not me. Oh, I love what that does. You can see sort of the difference between the glaze over that cloud, and I'll wipe some of this in a minute too. Oh, great. Okay, now on the little wiping, I have a left-handed paper towel with it had a little peen on it. Gee, nice going. Welcome to my studio. And I was so impressed with this one artist in television. He'd be painting along, and then he would kind of drop something on the floor. He says, "Oh, that's all right." And I was once watching when Gary Jenkins was doing a filming, and same thing. He dropped his palette and he picked it up and started going, but they made him start over. Ooh, that looks so pretty. Okay, now I'm going to come down, I clean the brush, and I'm going to come with ultramarine blue. And this is down in the water. And if it looks good this way, we'll sign it and go on to the next picture. Gee, there's so many memories associated with names. All of a sudden, like you say, SD Rails on. Oh, gee. And I don't, I have to mention one other name, Peggy Baird. I teach in Salt Lake. I've been going there for 28 years. She wasn't there yet. She was still in high school. But boy, that's been great. And we'd planned to go this year, but then with my wife's stroke and that, we thought we shouldn't do it. So Peggy, how about next year? Gee, that'd be so great. Okay, what's happening here? More blue, more blue. I'm even putting blue over the rocks. Okay, so sometimes when I put on a glaze, I may wipe a little bit, but I'm not going to do it now. The starting up in the sky, I have some notes here, so we'll look at those. It says yellow, ochre, and white. Ooh, what's the formula? 1 and 1. Okay, so I'm taking yellow ochre or ochre, yellow ochre, and white. You better come out equal. And this is a beginning of the work in the sky. So the first thing, it's going to jump a lot, but you wait and see. Okay, I'm taking a corner of the fan brush. So that side doesn't have anything. This side does. And we'll come right where the sun's going to be. Now, I think, I don't know, mentioned, but I thought, gee, it'd be nice if that distant hills and the lights were right there from the city. But then, as you might recall, is if I drew a line straight down through the middle, boy, would that be heavy on this side. So I have the little city lights over to the left. Now, when I put this on, I'm going to blend it a little bit, and then we'll come lighter. I love doing this. This is something that I've enjoyed doing a lot, the glazing and that. And like I say, this is a new painting for me. So boy, let's see how it works. And let's push this back just a little bit so that cloud isn't quite as close. Come down, we'll just blend like that with practically no paint on the brush. Okay, I'm going to go a little stronger with the same color. And then I'll start putting some of this on as if it were a silver lining. And of course, see, that is so powerful light, but I can go lighter than that. I'm not going to do it yet, but let me just hold up white. See, that will really jump when we come. We'll probably put a little bit of yellow in with it. And as I come lower, I'm going to try something. I hadn't planned on it, but what would happen if I put just a little bit of the alizarin and white together? What kind of a quantity do you have there? It's about 1 to 1. Oh yeah, I'm so glad. I had another red on the palette that I thought I was going to use, but let's do this. As we come over, I've gone even a little darker, so it's 2 alizarin, 1 white, and then we'll come back with the other. And we'll just let this be the uniting color between the highlight and the cloud. Do you understand what I said there? It's kind of a middle tone, so the light just doesn't meet the dark. I really like this though. This was the 1-in-1. And I don't want to come too far to the right because I want this big foam to have something to bear up against. Okay, I'm going to take a little bit more of that reddish tone. And as Lynn will tell you, I need to make sure that you're seeing some of that. Oh, who was that? Was that Lynn or was that Sue that need to have a little coloring in the eye that corresponds? Now, what I had intended to do was to even go darker in the clouds, but I'm not going to do that. This seems to work all right. Let's go in on this one. You had a nice little path there. The putting lights in the sky is very helpful. It adds to it, but if you use it to make the movement, and that's what I'm saying. As we slant this one down, it really has an additional effect. Besides being color, it adds to the composition. And let's see, what do we do about right above the distant hills? I'll go with the darker and see what that does. At least that'll separate the two. And as I was telling Lynn, she showed me what she did. I thought, did I send my painting to you? It was such a good job. But her top of the mountains, I suggested, might be just a wee bit sharp. Now I'm going to just even blend that just a little bit, and then we'll see what happens on the lights. Let's go with the same color. We'll come in here a little ways. You can see how we're working towards the darks and seeing how much of them we can save. See, when I do that, I instantly jump over here and think, boy, is that a heavy dark. So I'll pull that down just a little bit. we'll of course we'll have to watch the outer limits. And I think what I'll do on that, let's just see. I'm just tapping this a little bit more of a blend. It's so nice to work into a glaze. It gives such unity, and it's so easy to control the paint. You use very little, and it really responds well. Here's a nice place to have kind of a stepping stone between the highlight down to the center of interest. What do you mean center of interest? I'm as much interest as the ocean. Let the people judge who's best, the ocean or the sky. Well, we need you both, so let's have a little marriage, a little civility. Okay, I'm going to take excuse me, it's my favorite word. This is ultramarine blue and white. 2 blue, 1 white. And my feeling is, let's see, yeah, I need to make that 3 blue. 3 blue and 1 white. Even that makes me wonder what's happening. So I'll use very little on the brush and kind of push it around a little bit. Buck, I liked it before you did that. Well, we can always come back with some darks if we need to. Let's come over here. See, once I got the correct amount, it was a little bit easier. I hit that down there, so it didn't look like another cliffs back there. Okay, let's take the big fan brush, and we'll just kind of sweep gently. Now, we're not finished with the sky. I'm going to put a little extra work in it now before we leave it, but then we'll always see what is called for as you work on the rest of the painting. See, those work all right as long as you blend them down a little bit and they don't jump out at you. At you. It sounds like somebody's got to sneeze. Okay. Buck, I love it when you're quiet. No, you don't. No, you don't. All right, let's see what we want now. Let's, oh, I did get a card from somebody and I showed it to Lori and told her about it. He wrote and said, Buck, I wish you'd quit television. You're a big mistake and your work is not good. And I wrote back to him and I said, thank you for your comments. I'll try to do better. So, but then at the same day, I received just such an uplifting, oh, this is white and ochre. It's 1-to-1. I received such a nice message. I think it was from overseas too. It's just so uplifting. So you're going to have, I don't know if the fellow was doing it as a prank or if he was serious, but either way, do the best you can. I'm reading a great book, which is called Unoffendable. Oh my gosh. What's his name? Brant? Gee, it is so good. I recommend getting it for everyone. How to deal with adversity when it's caused by somebody else. Let's see. We have that. Let's again consider the step up to. I don't like that. So I'm going to take some alizarin because this is not the water. The water is going to be right close there. In fact, let's put just a touch in. This is the ochre and white. Let's take the pink. That would be wise. So we'll go much lighter than that, but at least that will show us where we are. I think while I have it, oops, There went the ball game. Okay, let's take and use a little pure, would pure yellow ochre work? I'm going to try it with a round brush. Love the Alexander brushes. Oh, I've used them for how many years, Lori? How many years? That was just a check to see if she's still awake. How many years have I used these? Since,
Lots of years.
oh, thank you.
Lots and lots of years.
Now I put just a little alizarin, which means about 1 and 1 with the yellow ochre, because I thought the first ones were just a little too light. Now we'll go even lighter on this. Gee, what are you doing? You're making a condominium with all the houses looking alike? We got to have somebody up in the hills, don't we? Yeah. We'll work with that further, and we'll soften a little bit as we go. Okay, now it's time to come down to the big wave in the water. Where'd that red come from? Oh, it came from your left hand. You must have touched that. Ooh, that's pretty, but oh, I hate to take it away. But here you go. Okay, let's have the fan brush. I have the smaller fan brush. And the first thing, so I don't get in trouble, is to take a little white and a alizarin crimson. It looks like 1 and 1. How come you get a little white down below? Is that being fearful or obnoxious? Okay, let's zigzag this. We'll put more color into the water, and we'll probably get some nice green going in there too. But first, let's see, what should we do? Should we do, well, let's go ahead with that. Let's take some yellow, 1 part, and ultramarine blue, 1 part. Take ultramarine blue, 2 parts. So one of those and one of those. Already have quite a bit of blue in the picture, so now I'm coming with this kind of soft greenish tone. I need to go even darker. It's probably about five blue to 1 yellow. And I want to make use of what was there. And when I say what was there, this dark that's around there, so I don't want to lose that much. So I'm using ultramarine blue and just a small touch of the ochre. There we go. What are you saying? There you go. It looks like what you did before. There we go. Notice just the kind of movement of the water. And now out here, I'll go across this way because you're not having a wave form out there. Take my other fan brush and we'll just sweep this a little bit, and then sweeping it, it'll sort of soften the two together, kind of make a blend. But that having that glaze on makes it where you can use very little paint and really make it happen. I'm going to hit the city while I'm there. Don't forget, this is the day Buck hit the city. Oh, good there. Now let's come down to the next place, and that's in here. We're going to use the same color. This is the blue and yellow ochre. It really works out being about 5 blue and 1 yellow ochre. How come you're not lighter? Well, let's just see if it takes just a little more paint. You can find these paints on the Alexander shelf. Oh, and I'm coming up and hitting that bottom just a little bit. My feeling there is probably need to have a little more reddish. It's a little bright. So I'll push this green up slightly and then we'll push the red on it. Are you ready? Are you ready? When you say red, do you mean the alizarin? Yes. It's so nice to have a prompter. Okay, so this is alizarin. I'm taking one alizarin and one white. And we'll eventually even go just a little lighter in there in the eye of the wave. Okay, now a fun part is the big foam. And I have notes on this. Where are your notes?
Hey, Buck.
Yes.
I'm hearing a little bit of a kind of a ticking sound, almost like sometimes when something's touching a keyboard or something. Is that coming from you, or is there somebody on here that is not muted?
No, I don't know. It's not from me.
Okay, I can still hear it.
Well, you know what? We have in the neighborhood a carpenter, and they're doing some roofing, and that's probably what you're hearing. It goes tick, tick. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Another great house is being built in Santa Barbara.
There's a lot of people that aren't muted, Lori.
Well, but you know, the thing is, I can't get to their mics. So sometimes the ones that show not muted, or they don't show the mic, it shows they're unmuted. There's not even a place to mute. So I don't know if they don't have microphones or what, but on my master list, it doesn't show that they have a mic.
Well, did you just hear that? Wait,
Hear what?
The tick, tick.
We'll just go forward. I was just checking to make sure, because I could hear the steady ticking.
Now you got me confused. Now I'm going to hear the special ticking.
Sorry.
Okay. Let's tick up to the canvas. I have one white and one ultramarine blue. Oh, this is so great. And what'll be neat, just kind of on the time schedule, we'll be able to come back Monday. This is Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Yeah, and we'll be able to do some other special work on it. So normally, you know, on PBS, you're saying, okay, see you next week. And then next week is in the afternoon. You hurry, and you wish you could have done more on it. At the end of the sessions, I have probably a half day where I work on all the paintings that I worked on during the show, so I can make them better. And then they have a demonstration by me Friday evening, and a silent auction. So the paintings have been improved, but they sure weren't improved on the air. Okay, let's go ahead with this. This is, as we said, the blue and the white equal parts. Now, when I put this on, I want you to be aware that what I find so offensive in so many seascapes is that they'll have this so sharp all around there. It's just a cutout. It doesn't have the softness. And there are others that oh, like Claude's teacher would say, I'd give 4 fingers to be able to paint as well as they do. Gee, there's some good ones out there. Okay, using the fan brush. And then you might ask, well, how do you get rid of having the sharpness? I will show you, as Bill would say. Notice as I put this on, I'm using the corner of the fan brush, and I'm arching just a little bit on the top. And then when I come down, I'm coming at a slant instead of straight down. And I don't use much paint. And thank goodness for the glaze. See, if this were dry and you put this on dry, you'd have to really work or add another color to be a tweener. But this, with it being wet, the ultramarine is wet, I can come down on it. Oh, I love that. Now, eventually, we will be putting some dark water showing inside besides the foam. When we come over here, I like to arch this a little bit so it kind of helps get the feeling of movement through there. What I like to do on the, let's take the fan brush, the small fan brush. The over the eye, you can do whatever you want. You can have it open, you can have a little notch in it, or I'm going to have just the smallest little foam. And then you come on the right side or the left side of it, and you're, are you clean? Still using the ultramarine blue and white equal parts. Why did I start down there? Well, I wanted to feature this one, and then what foam I have left over on the brush, I can just come up and it won't be quite as dominant. Maybe you better be a little more dominant, a little more assertive. So I say one thing and it works. Now look at this. See how dark that is? Dark against the light. I like the dark against the eye, but this would be one place where I need to just soften that line just a little bit. Ah, I like that. I like that. Okay, coming further to the left. And I see over here, I originally had that going up. Do I still want that? Yes, I'll have this go up a little bit so you get the feeling of movement on this, and it really works. I need to take just a second and take my ransomware protection down in the corner off stage. Good. Okay. Now I can see my canvas again. Okay, just a little bit. It would help if this were just a little more full. It would give just a little more emphasis in coming down there. Let's join just a little bit there. And then this one a little bit more, a little length to it. I like to the left. See how sharp that is on the bottom? I'll bring it down just a little bit. Okay, so that, once I do that, that calls for this one to be just a wee bit stronger. It's so neat. I'm going to be coming back on Monday. Oh, I'm excited. We'll finish this one, and then if we have time, I want to show you taking an old painting and making it work. And that's adventure because, again, I don't have anything to look at except a myriad of memories. Okay, a little bit of light on this. Lynn, on yours, you did such a good job here and back in there. When you put this wave in, be sure you come down on this side a little bit too. If any of you are privileged to take classes from her or Steve, that would be super. Okay, now I'm wiping the brush because I have that in all right, but it's foam. It's soft. It's soft. And down in here, just a little bit in there. And I'm going to just push a little bit in here so it'll represent a little bit of an eye. I'm taking some blue so that doesn't come down too far, quite as far. Now, when we come to the middle, we can just sneak now just a little light, excuse me, a little foam showing there, but it's not connected to this one. In fact, if you have enough room between those two, I would suggest just a little ones out there. And again, they're so far out there that you don't necessarily connect them all or connect them all together because you do have that varying distance. What am I doing here? Well, let's bring this down just a wee bit more. Okay, okay, we'll come back now to the front wave, and I find this small fan brush is quite good for leading us along. So we still have the same blue and white mixture, which we said equal parts. So I'll continue up here. There's going to be variations of highlights on these. The highlight that's going to go in this area will be very strong. So for now, you're going to think, well, you're just as strong up there, but this won't receive the extra light that its neighbors do. Okay, let's see what happens here. Okay, well, let's go further on this so we kind of establish that side. Fuck, if you get your head out of the way, I can see. Oh, you can see, all right. Okay, taking again the the big fan brush. Now, what I just did there, I'm generally fanning, but once in a while, if it's a little sharp, I'll kind of use the corner of the brush just to wiggle it a little bit more. The big fan brush does a nice job too on blending. Now here, see, it'd be so easy to put a light against there from that wave, but it's not. It's from this one. We'll establish this light first. This is going to be close to the path of the light coming down, which it's good. It'll be the strongest light will be on this top and on there and some down below. Notice when I put these on that if you were to take each little shape as an individual entity, they're quite attractive. They're creative. I like that. So you help yourself when you put this on if you can kind of feel like you're the wave. You can feel yourself moving in and splashing. I love that aspect of giving these things life in the painting stage. See, that now pushes this back. Although that wave behind, we want to have a second layer down here. a second row, I guess you say. And then just blend a little bit down so it's not quite so straight across. It's kind of almost like doing on the television. I'm doing the talking and no response. They never speak out. So you guys sure would help if you'd speak out, but you can't. I know. Lori can. She can do anything. Okay, let's come over here and I'll just put a little light line that will separate so you have the rocks. And I notice I'm just kind of sweeping it a little bit that way so that when we put the foam patterns in, it will look good. Blending these. Part of what I was saying is the offensive part of some seascapes is they're so sharp all the way around. We have pretty much the same value now, but one thing that I like to do is once we have that in, have a little paint of same color, just less on the brush, and come behind it so you can see how that cuts down the sharpness. However, we're going to put a good light on there and it will be sharp, but it won't be sharp against the dark green. It will be just a little sharper against what we've just placed on. And some of this just splash up a little bit like that. Oh, I just love having the time to do this. Just brush that down a little bit. When I come over to the far right, where I am, if I take just a little bit of that kind of that pinkish tone from the sky, and if I place that on just slightly, then what's left as darks on the side will give that wave some dimension, some form. Oh, it's so pleasing to be in front of you doing this. And you know, you shouldn't pick out names, but Peggy Baird is one of my favorite people. She's the Salt Lake Connection. What a fine artist she is, and so giving. And I'm inspired. Well, anyway, I can't go on. That's not fair. I was going to mention your name, Sue, but I can't do that. Anyway, let's continue with what we're doing. And now we'll come down near the rocks. And you can see we have places for some foam to go on them. White. So I have to say hi, Billy and Steve and Mike. So we have equal time, right? We have to be so conscious these days of being fair. I like the aspect of being fair. Ooh, that is pretty. Let's put some over in here a little bit. You're going to really like when we put in foam patterns because, you know, Tom mentioned that I have a feeling of dish, but it's not that. It's dash, D-E-S-H, and what each of those letters, D and the E and the S and the H, each stand for something. So we'll get to that on Monday. I can't thank Lori and Don enough for this privilege. Oh, I just, to wake up knowing that you have this day in front of you, oh, it's so pleasing. And to see my beautiful wife. She had a stroke a year ago and she's progressing. She still has a hard time speaking, but I love her laugh, laughing at herself. Oh, it's just, I'm so lucky to have her. And our kids are so responsive and supportive. Okay, so you see what I'm doing there? I'm putting this down. I'd started putting this on just a little in here, and we'll come over further to the right. I guess the carpenters had a break. I don't hear the tic-tac, Lori.
I still hear it, so I'm not sure what it is. It's
Oh.
like a very, almost a steady.
Some people like to impress us that they have good hearing, but
Yeah, that's not me.
okay, now let's we'll come to the left and put on the foam there. But what I want to do with this foam before we get there is just make sure, and this is all the equal blue and white. I want to make sure we have a good impact against that rock. It will eventually, next time, have a strong highlight because that's not exactly on straight down, but it's enough in the area to warrant it receiving more. Okay, we'll come over here, and somewhat similar to the big middle wave, I'm putting these on just a little bit with the idea that they suggest movement. See how that one bends down? Maybe not as much as the left neighbor. Oh, well, I was going to jump up here and I shouldn't do that. Let's continue with this. It'll be really fun to show you the foam patterns because there's a lot of fine seascape artists that get just a little slap on the foam patterns. This put just a little start at the foam in. Now let's see, what should we do? We have 11 minutes left of the hour, and that's really where I'd like to stop, would be on the hour. Let's see what we, oh, I know what we'll do. Let's put a little work on the rocks. That the head start it will give will be great. I have notes on the rocks. They're they're already quite dark, and I'm going to put some foam on the rocks, and I'm going to put a touch of the sky on the rocks. When I say the sky, I'll probably start with some of the reddish so that we can, or pinkish, so that we can work into it. So let's start with foam on the rocks. And I'm looking more now to do this just a little darker. So I'm taking two blue and one white. So we'll come over here. Yeah, this is good. We'll have some where you can see it's still quite wet that we'll use this value. But this one is just a little darker, so it's been wet, but now most of the foam has drifted down.
Hey, Buck, if you want to stop on the hour, why don't you stop painting just a few minutes before and we can open up for questions, okay?
Yeah, well, what I'm saying is uh, I'll stop on the hour, but it's we're not eating today, so I don't have to leave. So if I can paint for another 8-9 minutes, and then
Perfect.
open up for questions, is that all right?
Yeah, that's perfect. I just thought if you were going to leave in an hour, we'd open it up a little earlier.
Oh,
That's
no,
even better. Just keep going.
you're very thoughtful. Thank you. I guess the world already knows that I love Lori Anderson. And it was so nice yesterday to see Andy. Gosh, I felt good seeing him again. That's her handsome husband. Notice how when I put this on, I kind of allow a feeling for a little bit of cracks in between. Let's come on this one. And let's see, down here, I didn't intend to do that, but I'm doing it, is to make this just a kind of a little flat top right there. Let's push this so the foam comes into the rock just a little more. Tick, 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 tick. That's not very nice. Okay. Onto this one. And this one. Okay, so I have done that. Let's see. This rock certainly, if it's the closest to the water, it's got to have had some water hitting it. And let me just re-emphasize how enjoyable it is to work into a glaze. See, the rocks are glazed too. They were glazed with the same ultramarine blue. I at one time, yesterday being the one time, I thought, make a note and we'll glaze the rocks with burnt umber. But it wasn't necessary. They're already dark enough. And we'll be putting some lights on these. And when I say that, some of the rock will have lights and some of the foam will have lights. So we'll do that. I'm sure there's one little aspect here. I'm going to take some of the Van Dyke brown and a round brush, and I'm looking at this area. I want to make sure, Van Dyke brown, make sure that we have some good strength against that approaching wave. And there'll be other places that will probably use the Van Dyke brown too, for instance, down in here. But we can have it available. Oh, I see one spot. This part, if we're going to have the contrast over there, but this likewise will have some dignity. So let's take, this is Van Dyke brown. Now let's go up just a little bit to give a little character on that. And then coming down here, I'll slant this down. And in coming down, I'm lengthening it just a little bit so it's a little closer to its neighbor. He's helping out the neighbor. And on the neighbor, it's already pretty good as far as contrast, but let's use the Van Dyke brown. That'll be better. That'll give some good strength. And then as it comes over here, just reaching out a little bit. And there's going to be another nice contrast eventually when the highlight comes down against this. So right now I use that. I want to do one other thing before I open up for questions, is down in the right corner. I'll take some of the equal parts of the light and blue. This will be, then it won't be a mystery corner. In several places, and this being one and these being one, I'm putting just a little swish in to show some of the foam on the water. When we get to doing the foam patterns, then I will certainly give you the formula that will bring you great success. So as far as anything else to do, maybe just taking just a little of the alizarin and white, which is there. This would be a help. do it now or do it later, but do it. And let's come down even below there. It must be lunchtime. I hear a dog barking. Do you hear a dog barking? Yes. Okay, let's call that where we're stopping for this. If anybody has questions on this or general questions, I'm available.
This is Billy. The other day, you weren't using ultramarine blue. You just introduced that today with the glazing.
Let's see if I understand your question. I introduced, I used ultramarine blue today. You said something about last time?
Yeah, before you were using phthalo blue.
My
Or were you
goodness.
using ultramarine blue before?
No, it was phthalo blue.
All right, just so I know that and you coated the whole thing with Magic Clear, right?
Yes, you actually, you could use, at least I would probably have used, if I had a choice, I'd use the ultramarine blue for both. Definitely this one. So the phthalo blue would jump out a little too much, I think. That's a good question, Billy.
So when you were using the blue last time, it was not ultramarine blue, or it was ultramarine blue?
No, I think I don't remember.
I think I wrote it down. I don't think it was. I think you used phthalo blue, and then you mixed the purple in it, which would get you to the color that we're at today.
Well,
with the purple in it.
I hope somebody's got notes.
My notes said the phthalo blue plus violet.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
I could have used that again today if I'd have remembered.
Buck,
Yes, Lynn.
I missed the sky glaze color. Is it alizarin and crimson, or
Yes.
that's
Yes.
what I thought, but I wanted to make sure.
I have a question. This is Norma.
Yes, Norma.
It's more of a technical, and this could just be me, because I do have an eye problem. But can the picture be lightened up, more light on it or something? I hardly can see what you're doing because it's all so dark.
Well, my intention is this is building to the lights. So next time we put on strong lights in the foam patterns, and in the sky.
Norma, are you saying that the scene that you're looking at right now is too dark to see on the screen?
Yes, very, very dark.
Other people have that problem too?
I guess it's me then.
Yeah, it does look a little dark, Norma. In fact, I was looking earlier, I thought, okay, is there a lighting? Is there something different with the lighting? But I kept seeing his arm show up, okay, so it seemed like the lighting was good. It may just be that he's painting dark colors right now.
It's quite dark. It's quite dark. It surprised me too. But knowing that I will go lighter and intend to, I might even glaze something in the middle that has a little gold and white to just kind of make it a little more airy. But
hey, Buck.
Yes.
Go ahead and take a photo before at the end, when we're all done here, take a photo of this and send it. And then we can send out a photo to anybody that wants to contact Dawn about getting the picture, and that might help.
Well, I've had trouble contacting Dawn. For some reason, I can get things to go through to you, Lori, but for some reason they stick in my outbox for Dawn. And I don't know why.
Yeah.
So okay. I would like to have the sketch. I haven't received any of that.
So Dawn, DAWN at alexanderart.com.
Yeah. And I've emailed to her before with no problems.
Yeah.
But lately it just sticks in my outbox. So
I hope that doesn't mean Dawn's inbox is full.
Oh, I don't know.
I'm sure it isn't, but I'm sure it is. I'm sure it's very full, but I'm sure it's not too full, Norma.
Okay.
Oh, it's very full.
So, okay, thank you.
Right. Anybody else? Any other questions or comments?
Please talk to me.
Well, I wanted to say something, Buck. I think your sky is just amazing. And I wasn't going to do the seascape because seascapes kind of intimidate me with the rocks and the water and the sky, all three together. But yours is so inspiring, I want to start it.
Well, I'm looking at something behind you, and that's an inspiring seascape. What's that?
That's one of yours.
Oh, good job. Was that
Hey,
from
Buck,
the was that from the what do you call it? The silent auction?
Yes.
Great.
So I don't
Hey,
know
Buck.
if you, oh, go ahead. Are you going to show yours, Billy? I was just going to show Buck yours. Are you going to hold it up? Billy?
I'm here. It's like I can maybe pick this up and bring it
Oh
over.
my
Okay.
gosh.
All right.
That's
Hey, big
tremendous.
one.
There's,
What a neat beginning, Billy.
Thank you. It's a little bit bigger. That's only, I had something laying around big, so I'm big.
Yeah.
And I also have, hey, look, what we were talking about the other day.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, yeah.
Where did you get that?
I Googled Buck Paulson, Hall of Fame,
Love it.
Yeah,
Rose painting.
that was fun to do.
That's what I was talking about when you would splash the paint on and see what you see and roll with it.
You bet.
beautiful.
I don't know.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't know if you hear me well. on
I
this.
love it.
Thank you very much.
Buck,
Hey,
here's
Buck, the
the-
round brush,
here's the
you're
photo.
using, is that a filbert?
Let's
Go ahead,
see.
Buck.
I used yes, I used the filbert for, where did I use that? Was it in the sky?
No, the round brush you used today, was that a small filbert?
Oh, just a small round.
Okay, thank you.
You
Yeah,
bet.
that's an Alexander round brush.
Got it. Thank you.
All right, any other questions or comments?
Got to have them. I'm here.
Yeah, how often do you get face to face with Buck? Let's take advantage of it, guys.
Buck, it's beautiful. I love this sky, and I can just imagine how this water is going to turn out. It's just absolutely gorgeous.
Thank you.
I love it. It's beautiful.
I can't wait to get into the next part of it. It's just amazing.
So that's Monday.
Yes.
We'll be here.
Yep.
Hi, Buck. This is Susie. I am so excited to get to watch you work. I love that your personality comes out when you paint.
Thank you. That's very kind of you.
Buck, this is Judy. I have always admired you. I have almost every one of your books. You are just amazing, and you're my favorite oil artist, and I just love you to death.
Oh my gosh, Lori, please record that. I'll play it every morning. Thank you for your nice comments.
And I have to assure, I was going to say, Buck, I wanted to assure you that you do explain things really, really well, so that it doesn't leave a whole lot of doubt in our minds as to what you mean. So this is awesome. Absolutely.
Well, I think the venue of what we're doing, where Lori says, make sure it looks good, take your time, has given me a new dimension. Who's that pretty girl?
Thank you, Lori.
Yep, you're welcome.
I asked a question. Who is that pretty girl? Oh.
All right. You know, Buck, you may not hear us. We're all muted, but we're talking to you while you're talking to us. In our
Really?
heads, we are. We're responding. But the nice thing is you've done this long enough that you've learned how to answer your own questions.
That's true.
We're waiting for the question and the answer. We know we'll get it. No.
You know, yeah, your mind goes blank, and then after you're off, you're like, oh, why didn't I ask him that? But
Yeah.
You know, it's intimidating kind of to be on here with you. Buck, you're a star, you know?
Well, if you guys think of any questions and you want to send an email to me, Laurie@alexanderart.com. That's LAURIE @alexanderart.com. If you want to send them to me, I'll make sure Buck gets them and he can answer them back on
Okay.
Monday.
Sounds
So,
good.
yeah.
Hey, Laurie.
Well, you have improved my phone like 100% already. I can't, and just seeing what you did here, it's even going to be even more. I'm one of the people that puts too many of the squiggly lines in there, I think.
Well, we'll talk about those squiggly lines on Monday.
Hey, Laurie.
Yes.
Thank you all so much. This has just been great. I'm loving all these lessons.
You're welcome, Sherry. It's great to have you on. It's it certainly makes the time go by a little quicker, a little faster during the week, doesn't it?
It's just been amazing. Yeah, it's been amazing.
Yeah.
I've been busier during quarantine.
You know what, Laurie?
What?
Let's see, I guess it was when I did the landscape, people would bring them or send them for the critiquing on Tuesdays.
Yes.
And it was just so exciting. So I would hope that some of you will send this to the critiquing session.
Yes, and so what we could do is, since you're going to be painting on it Monday, maybe if you want, we could invite them. Anybody that sends the painting in during the week, we could invite them on for the next Tuesday. How would that be?
Absolutely great.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Yeah, and then so if you do the painting and you send me the photo at Laurie@alexanderart.com, send me the photo of your painting, then we'll make sure that you get an invite for the meeting, the weekly meeting that we have with Buck. So we do this every week. We get on Tuesday mornings, and a few of you that are on the call are on this. And again, as I'll explain it again, for some of you that are new, you submit photos of work that you're working on, and then Buck critiques it and guides you. And I'll tell you what, we've seen some work go from okay to outstanding just by the guidance that Buck gives.
It's so rewarding when you watch the people make the corrections and enhance their work.
I want to show you something real quickly. You saw Billy's painting on there behind him,
Yes.
but I want to show you what Sue did with your, you'll see this for Tuesday, but I just want to show this to you.
Okay.
Can you see that?
No.
No?
How come I can't see it?
Let me spotlight.
I don't see it either.
Okay, let me spotlight my screen and see if you can see that.
There it is.
Oh,
yeah. Beautiful.
My gosh.
That's beautiful. Sue did this from your landscape one. So anyway, it's outstanding. So you'll get that for Tuesday, Buck. But anyone else, if anybody else did the landscape last week and haven't had it reviewed, or Buck reviewed it and you've moved it further, send it to me and we'll invite you. I was trying to cancel the spotlight and I muted myself. And then Buck will critique it again.
Yeah. Hey, Sue, be sure and put a little reddish in the stream.
Okay. I did a little, but maybe it's not enough.
No, it needs to be a great reflection.
I had a comment for you, Buck. You invented a new word, I think. You called it fanning. And fanning is now the process of taking your fan brush and blending in the tops of your waves.
Yes.
Yeah. Good catch on that.
A la fanning.
Yeah.
I hate for this to end. It's Good Friday, and we as a church have made this a day of fasting, so I don't have to run down and make lunch. So please ask me some questions. or comment.
So I guess I'll ask Buck, do you know what you're going to paint? You said you're going to finish this one on Monday, and then do you know what else you're going to paint next week?
Well,
Decided?
I would like to, I'll show you if you can give me just a minute. It's right around the corner. Oh, gee. It's a long corner, but I'm getting there.
We give Buck all the minutes he wants.
I'm glad.
Okay.
Isn't this nice, you guys, to be able to be up in his studio with him?
Yeah, because I would never be able to make it to a studio, and being self-isolating for 4 weeks, and I live by myself. This is the most wonderful thing ever.
Yeah,
I really appreciate it.
good.
I want to show you.
Just a minute, Buck. I'm going to spotlight you again. Okay.
Oh, I love it.
Mm-hmm.
But it needs some work. It needs some work, and this is what I would do on the time that's available on Monday. If necessary, carry it over to Friday. It's got such potential, as Lynn would notice.
When you do that, are you doing like you showed us earlier and using up the paint that you have left over, like you showed us with your palette earlier?
That
Are
one,
you actually-
I really don't know. That wasn't that way, but that was a long time ago, and it's been sitting around. And sometimes I'll get an old canvas and I'll scrape it, and I end up putting a hole in it. And let's see. Oh, something I'm going to show you Monday is doing the foam patterns. And if you look real carefully, you will notice there's a hole in that right there. That was one of my great ideas of
Well, you could hang it up with that.
kind of like the pellets, huh?
Right, right. Would you be so kind as to take a picture of the one that you're going to do next week before you change it?
Oh, that's a good
So we
idea.
have a starting?
That's a great idea, Lynn.
Yeah, I love that idea.
Thank you.
How come you?
Thank you, Buck.
How come you ask all those smart questions?
Because I have a great teacher.
Oh.
If she takes from Tom.
Both.
I do have a question. If I missed last week's, is there any way you can go back and see those, or is it just live at this day and you can't go back and get that landscape we're talking about?
Judy, they're all up on Facebook.
Oh, okay,
and
great.
if you go to the Bill Alexander Art Club Facebook or to Alexander Art, you should be able to see each of the ones that we did. Now we did upload yesterday's to YouTube, but we had to privatize the file because Dawn and I have some work to do on it afterwards. It's the file format's not quite right, and so it's.
Now, is there a time limit I need to make sure I watch it? Or see any of that, or is it just going to be up there on the group?
Just make sure you see it in Dawn and I's lifetime.
Okay.
I'm just kidding. It'll be up there. We won't take it down.
All right, great.
Oh,
Thanks,
you'll
guys.
have plenty of time. And so there's Buck did a landscape, that beautiful landscape that I showed you that Sue did.
Yeah, I loved it.
Yeah, so it's already up there. Just go. Just scroll down and look for any of our posts, so you'll find them.
Okay, will do.
Probably if you go to the Alexander Art page, I think it probably will. It'll be easier because there's not as many people posting there.
Well, that's true too. Okay, that'd be easier.
They're also posted on YouTube, Lori.
Yeah, I started to say YouTube, but then since we had to do the work on the one, I thought I'd send them to Facebook. But yeah, if you go to our YouTube channel, Alexander Art, and
yeah, I have that saved. Yeah.
Okay. All right. And for anybody that doesn't have it saved, there's an extra A in front of Alexander Art because Alexander Art was already taken. So I just added another A in front of it. So it's capital A for Alexander, and then a capital A for Art. So, and that's, we've been posting Bill videos up there as well this week, and plus these workshops that we're doing. So, Danielle, I don't know that we posted. Dawn, did we post Danielle's on YouTube? I don't think we
No,
did.
we just posted it to Facebook.
And we did that out of privacy for you, Danielle. So if you want us to change that, we can do that. But well, I just figured since that was a new technique that you were showing us, that you probably didn't want us blasting it out to, we have 61,000 subscribers out there. So we thought we'd keep it a little more private.
Yeah. Buck,
Yeah.
a while back, this is Judy, a while back, probably last fall, I was going through YouTube, I think it was, and you had done an acrylic background pouring in the sky. That was the most amazing thing I ever saw. I mean, you took different colors of acrylic and you brushed it on, like 3 colors. You put it on the canvas, but then you added, I guess, water, and you poured it to make the sky. You did it. I don't know the name of the scene, but I remember I did save it. But you just like made it didn't totally cover just the upper part, but you moved the canvas until you got it the way you wanted to look. Then you went and did your painting. But I guess you did oil over the acrylics is how I think you did it.
Yeah.
I just don't remember the scene, but boy, it was the most gorgeous colors. It was orange and reds, and it was just beautiful.
Yeah, I've done that a few times. You get it in your blood. You think, oh, I want to do something different. So I'll wet the canvas, a white canvas.
Right.
I'll put I'll squeeze out some red and yellow and blue and green, mix it around with a palette knife a little bit, just swish it around.
Maybe that's what you did. Yeah.
And then spray it again so it's wet and kind of tip it so it moves. And then set it down and
then
dry.
you kept it straight and you set it down, you let it dry, and you came back and did your oil over that.
Yes.
And I tell you, it caught my eye. It was different, like you said, and I think that's why I so enjoyed that. Well, putting 2 mediums together too, that's enjoyable.
But please, don't leave. I have a couple paintings I want to show you that were done that way.
Oh, okay, great. I've only seen that one, and it's been a while.
Judy, what's your last name?
Howson, Howson.
We were wondering if that was you.
Yeah, that's me.
Yeah. Good. Well, that's great. Nice to put a face with a name.
I know it is, isn't it? This first time I've ever done anything like this, I was a little hesitant. I think one time I did it with something else, and I fell asleep. And I was wondering about and when it was over, I said, "Oh my God, was my mouth open?" Or
well, we try to keep track. Dawn, that's why Dawn's on 2 computers. If she's watching in case someone does fall asleep or something, we can shut their video off.
Oh, I'm glad then.
Okay, hold on, Buck. I'm going to spotlight you.
Here's one of the ones that was done with
those colors pop
without anything else added to it yet.
It's like an abstract right now. It's gorgeous.
And what I do after I do it, in this case, I'd turn it around and see which way
what
I
hits
like
you.
Which way I like it best.
Yeah.
I want to show you one that I did.
Hey, Buck.
Yes.
The one that you just put up there, when you turned it vertical like that, it almost looked like you could see you could almost see part of a boat or a ship. See the brown area down there on the left?
Right here.
Yes, right there. Doesn't that look kind of like there's a ship side of a boat that's going to be stuck under some water or something like that?
Or you have this, almost looks like a person.
See, that's why this is so interesting. To each person, they're seeing something different. But if you step aside, put it back and you come back to it, that's where you get your idea. Well, I see this, and that's where you start, because then you put it all together. You have to. Each person would be different in what they see.
Right, and I would.
That's wonderful.
I would use a mirror to help me decide which is the best pose.
A mirror. I didn't think of that.
Now let me show you what. I can't show this with So my wife being a little upset.
Oh my gosh.
Because we went to a movie in Canada. We
Uh-huh.
were, let's see, that was 62. And we went, they had this small movie place and we went this one time and it was Houseboat.
Sophia Loren?
Yes. And
Yes.
when we came back to the apartment, my wife says, "Oh, I'm sorry, I'm not Sophia Loren." and I said, I put my foot in my mouth and I said, "No more sorry than me."
Well, I thought you were going to say there could only be one Sophia Loren.
So
Either one was bad.
we actually slept apart that night for one time in 61 years.
Nobody could stay mad at you very long, Buck.
I was just going to say, Buck, you're lucky it was only one night.
Well,
But that's beautiful. Look at that. I mean, it's just, it grabs your eye. It's breathtaking.
yeah, it's no anticipation of what's going to happen.
Right.
You know, with these things, where they're going to be and that. But I love doing that. Maybe one day we could do it on the show.
Oh, that would be great.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Anyone else? Anyone have anything they want to add?
Oh, I'd just like to add that I used to just try. I mean, when I started doing the wet on wet, I would try to get everything done all in one shot. But you opened my eyes that it's good to go back into and add the the details.
Yes.
So I don't know.
You have a lot of paintings behind you.
Okay, yeah, I do a lot.
Yeah, I mean, that's great. I don't practice enough. I'm sort of semi-beginner. I just don't practice enough.
So, Billy, do you teach too, or do you just paint?
No, I just paint for myself.
Yeah, for yourself?
I like that.
Yes.
Yeah. Wow.
I don't know what happened here.
Well, I really love the work that you've been posting on Facebook.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's great. Congratulations.
Yeah.
And especially on that one you got behind you on the easel now of mine.
Yeah, that's going to be
good. And I don't know what happened here. Everybody disappeared. Hold on. There it is.
Yeah.
I can bring it closer. Hold on.
Okay, hold on. I'll spotlight you, Billy.
Well, Billy, you'll probably have that done by Monday.
Yeah, if I watch the Monday show, I can have it done by Tuesday.
Tuesday. Yeah. Oh, look at that.
Just a minute, Billy.
Yeah,
hold it on. I have to go through all the people here. There we go. Okay.
Isn't that marvelous?
Yeah, perfect. That's
I sort of
beautiful.
feel like I'm in an airplane up in the, above the clouds and stuff. It's just that. It's so soft and.
Yeah, that camera doesn't do it justice. It looks better.
The mood in that is just outstanding.
The colors are fantastic.
If you saw, let me see if I can pull up, Billy, because you sent me the
email earlier.
Yes.
Gosh, you should have your names in light, Billy.
Is that a 16 by 20, Billy, or bigger? Or 18?
The ocean is 24 by 36. This is 18 by.
Ooh.
That's like Bill Alexander River there.
Oh, that's beautiful.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, that's
and that does remind me of one of his. Yes.
Yeah, I got paintings everywhere in here.
Isn't it fun?
Everybody wants to buy them, but it's like, I don't know what to say.
Okay, I'm going to see if I can spotlight mine, and so you can see the color, see the brilliance of the color of his painting.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I mean,
that's wonderful.
Yeah, I think that's brighter than his is, which I think I like it more on his canvas because this seems the sky seems different, but it's the phone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's darker.
Did you say it's darker than the photo?
It might be the way he was holding it to the light too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, yeah, my pictures when I take a picture of them in the daytime and the nighttime, even though the lights are the same, it's completely different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I've enjoyed today, this afternoon. It's been great.
Yeah.
Well, thanks. Well, we'll be back here. We'll be back here. We'll take the weekend off.
Okay.
Although if you're getting the daily tips, you'll keep getting daily tips in the morning. And I don't know whether there'll be any bill videos posted this weekend or not. I'm not sure. I haven't talked to Don about that yet. So, and then we'll be back here Monday.
All right. Sounds good. Same time you're going to do it?
Yeah, Monday and Friday with Buck is at 10 o'clock. And then we are on with Tom Anderson on Wednesday and Thursday at 11 o'clock.
Okay.
And Dawn, is it this Tuesday that we're doing, Danielle? This
At
Tuesday.
2.
What?
At 2.
Yeah, this Tuesday at 2 o'clock from 2 to 3, Danielle, who's on the call, will be doing, she does leather work, and she's going to be showing us start from beginning to end on how to make a mask. And so
I like that. And I like it being leather too.
Yes. Yeah, so so Monday will be 10 o'clock, Tuesday will be 2 o'clock, Wednesday will be 11 o'clock. So just keep watching. We send out a starting soon.
Okay.
And every day the meeting number changes. So that's why you have to click in on the day that we send it out.
Yeah, I clicked an hour early. I'm in Kentucky, so it started at 1 here, my time. Yeah. And so I went back in. I just set Alexa to tell me a few minutes before you guys started.
Yeah, good idea.
Usually large and
she just started talking.
Yeah.
So then, Lori,
yes,
for anybody who's doing these ones that are being demonstrated by Buck, will you just, if they send it to you, will you just send them the meeting information for Tuesday then?
Yes, we will. We will while we're doing this.
Okay.
Yeah. And as long as, depending on how many we have. So if we get too many, because we also have our regulars on Tuesday as well. So we'll fit them in. We may have to run a little long, Buck, on Tuesdays.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah. Or at least for the next few weeks while we're all isolated and enjoying the time at home and enjoying the time that we get together, So I guess I have to say, this is definitely a blessing that has come out of this devastation that has been going on, is that we've been able to get face to face to some of you that we recognize your names, but we never, now I feel more like we've met,
Well, I know I've always, you'll say Buck is having a workshop. I said, well, I'll never be able to do that. And plus, I live on Social Security. I couldn't afford it either. So I think this is so unselfish of you all and Buck to do this for us. I'm just blessed.
Thank you.
Thank you, Judy.
I understand.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you all. And I could probably say that Buck is my friend now. It's
It becomes like family when you do this. Tell you the truth.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, that's how those of you that are on here that we meet weekly.
And Lori too. Yeah.
Yeah. That's really
I don't want to leave you out, Lori.
Yeah.
And Dawn.
Yeah.
Everybody who keeps me in contact is a great thing.
Yeah. Yep. That's right. That's the way it works.
And you keep us in paint and brushes too.
Yep. we try hard.
Yeah.
Well, happy Easter, everybody.
Yes. Happy Easter.
Likewise.
Be safe out there.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Buck.
See you on Monday.
Happy Easter. Thank you.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Thank you, Buck.
Bye. Monday.
Stay safe. Stay
Bye-bye.
6 feet apart.
That's true. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Happy Easter.
Yeah, thank you.